Okay, so I'm just going to share with you my experience of joining a kickboxing school for the first time. And this is somebody who suffers with social anxiety. So without boring you to tears, I'd pretty much suffered with social anxiety for quite a few years. It is a lot better than it was a few years ago. It got to the point where I couldn't go to the supermarket, couldn't go to shopping centres. I found myself making all sorts of excuses to try and get out of social gatherings, parties, going out for drinks with friends or whatever. It was just weird. It was just something that kind of developed over time and got worse, and I definitely made it worse myself by avoiding situations such as having to go to the supermarket. I'd any kind of groceries or shopping, I'd sit at home and order things online, which was far easier. It meant I didn't have to face people, and then it just kind of got worse from there, to the point that I fortunately or unfortunately, I was working freelance at the time, which meant that I was able to work from home, which definitely didn't help the situation, because avoiding the things that I didn't like made them even more scary when I did eventually have to face them. So one day I decided, fuck it, I just need to get out and face these fears and do things that that make me feel uncomfortable, and stop avoiding situations, social situations. So over time I gradually started socially interacting more, going for supermarkets and shopping centres, and then one day I decided I'm just gonna do something that I've always fancied doing, but never really had the courage to do it. Even before the social anxiety had set in, I'd never had the courage to do it, and this was kickboxing. So I've never really been a sporty person in any way whatsoever. But I thought, you know what, if I can do this, then surely I can accomplish anything, pretty much. So it was back in December 2016, so 8 months ago. I looked online in my local area. There was a kickboxing and martial arts school that did kickboxing classes. They had a deal on 6 beginners classes for £25. So I thought, sod it, I'll sign up, I'll book. Paid the £25 via PayPal. This was back in December, knowing fine well that the actual classes didn't start until February 2017, so that gave me 2 months to chicken out of the idea of going. I kind of forgot about it, to be honest, until a week or two before the classes were due to start, and suddenly started crapping myself, thinking, crap, these kickboxing classes are due to start soon, and I really wanted to go. I really wanted to push myself and do this. But on the other hand, obviously, social anxiety, it was absolutely terrifying. I think I also figured, because I'd only paid £25 for 6 weeks of classes, if I chickened out at the last minute, hey, I was only losing £25, it's not like I was losing hundreds of pounds. So the day of the class came, absolutely shitting my pants, didn't really know what to expect, didn't know what to wear. All these things were going through my head. What if I go there and I'm wearing the wrong things? What if I look like an idiot? What will people think of me? All the typical things that go through your head, especially for somebody who suffers with anxiety. And to be honest, I think I kind of expected, I thought it was going to be full of, kind of guys who'd been doing kickboxing for years, who were just there to beat each other up, and if you were a newbie or rubbish at kickboxing, they would totally take the piss out of you and give you a really hard time. So I was not looking forward to that. So I got in my car, set off to drive to the class. The entire journey to the martial arts school, I was physically shaking, I felt sick. The amount of times I almost turned the car around and went straight back home, but nope, I parked outside the martial arts school and walked through the doors. My heart was absolutely jumping out of my mouth. I was shaking, I was sweating, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And turns out I actually really enjoyed it. It totally wasn't what I thought it was going to be. The instructors, John and Robert, and all of the other people at the kickboxing were really friendly and welcoming. It was a very good mix of beginners and people who were a little more experienced. The more experienced guys were really welcoming, really friendly, and I had an absolute fucking amazing time. It was awesome, to the point that when I'd left at the end of class, got in the car, drove home, I was absolutely on cloud nine. I loved every minute of it. Didn't think I would, almost didn't do it. Got back home, I was so buzzing with myself for actually having seen it through and not chickened out at the last minute and done this thing that I really wanted to do. And train. That was it. I was totally hooked. 6-week beginner classes came and went, and subscribed to the school, and which allowed me to then progress onto intermediate classes, and I was no longer a beginner. I absolutely love it. I'm really pleased that I did this. So I think the point of this really is, you know, especially for people who suffer with social anxiety, you conjure up all of these scary images in your head of what might happen. He might say this, she might say that. What will I think of me? In actual fact, the stuff that you're conjuring up in your head is bullshit, unless you've actually experienced it firsthand. There's no way you could possibly know. Go for it. Just do it. Yes, it is scary. Yes, you feel like you might be having a heart attack because you're so anxious and uptight about the whole thing. And this is, you know, I'm not just talking about kickboxing here. Anything that you're scared to do, irrational fear. You know, what would be the worst that would happen if I'd have turned up for that very first class? I would have hated it. That would have been the worst that would have happened, and I wouldn't have went back, and I'd have lost £25. Big wow, no big deal. I'd have been in no danger or anything. So that's, you know, when you suffer with social anxiety, that's all it is. It's irrational fear. Do it. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, don't go back. A lot of martial arts schools offer some kind of free class, free trial. So if it turns out you don't like it, then you've lost nothing. There was no way I was going to let this anxiety crap get the better of me. I was not prepared to spend the rest of my life sitting at home, working from home, trying to avoid social situations. It was just so, it was totally irrational. What was it all about? And like I said, don't get me wrong, I do still suffer with it at times, especially busy areas, shopping centres, busy train stations, places like that. But I think I definitely believe that seeing the kickboxing through, it's that first hurdle. Getting, you know, it's it's that first hurdle of dragging your ass to that first class, no matter how scared you are, and you'll realise it's not what you think it is. It's actually fun. You'll have an absolute blast when you get there. Learning new techniques, learning to move your body in ways that you that just feels completely unnatural, but it will come to you. Go for it, give it a shot, and I'll see you in the next video.